Hello viewers, welcome to our lecture series on Indian ethos in management, and today we are going to continue our discussion on the topic of total resources management. This is going to be part 4 and the last part of this topic of Indian ethos in management, that is total resources management. So, extending our discussion on the topic of total resource management, where we have already discussed about how to develop a total stakeholder happiness index, how to develop a stakeholder happiness index for business enterprises, and the kind of contribution we have got from the different researchers in the field with regard to corporate reputation. That there was a model by Bala Subramaniam and Kimber, where they suggested a model of corporate reputation and discussed about the 4 aspects of corporate reputation. Now, going ahead with this topic, that what is its role in knowledge management? Is there any role of total resources management in knowledge management? Answer is yes. Although the term knowledge itself is basically a widely understood term, but least defined one. If you ask anybody about the term knowledge, the person would try to give some examples of it. So, it is a widely understood term, but least defined. When we talk about its definition, it is differentiated from the data and information. People say that data and information are entirely different from knowledge, and of course, that is the truth. Knowledge is categorized in explicit and in tacit forms. One is explicit, another one is implicit or tacit one. So, tacit knowledge refers to the knowledge which is there in the minds of the experts, or what you call as the top shots of that domain. Whatever knowledge they have knowledge is there in their minds or the minds of the experts, that is called tacit knowledge, which is not expressed in literature. But with the new changes, many new areas of knowledge management they have emerged. Now, the knowledge management have emerged as a very significant domain, and now we talk about the knowledge products also. So, in total resources management, the traditional areas of known knowledge and the new frontiers of emerging knowledge, they are being integrated together. So, TRM basically acts as a bridge for integrating the traditional areas of known knowledge with that of new frontiers of emerging knowledge. It is just like integrating the traditional knowledge. If we take example of Indian system, Indian knowledge system, we are basically talking about IKS, that is Indian knowledge system, where we are integrating the east with the west, or you can call it vice versa, west with the east. So, whatever the western thinkers have said, we are integrating that with our traditional own traditional knowledge, and we are integrating it with the Indian knowledge system. That how can we make better use of the Indian knowledge system in present days time, or in with the 21st century challenges. So, TRM basically takes care of both the areas. One is traditional area of known knowledge, and the second one is the new frontiers of emerging knowledge. They are being integrated together to ensure that the knowledge management is done in a requisite manner. So, TRM has an important role to play, because knowledge is also a resource, and wherever we talk about the resource, it is the duty of TRM to not only take care of the resource, but also the source of the resource. This is what I told you at the very outset. Now, the question comes, how to put the corporate wheel into motion through TRM? Can we keep that corporate wheel running, or bring it into the motion with the help of TRM? For that, we have 5 variables model of corporate momentum. The ultimate aim of total resource management is basically this only. It is to put the corporate wheel into constant motion, or in Hindi we call it charaveti charaveti. We should keep on going, we should keep on working. So, the critical spokes in this wheel of corporate, it include productivity, quality, cost, value addition, and risk. And if we represent them by an alphabet, we can take P, Q, C, V, R. That is productivity, P representing productivity, Q representing quality, C representing cost, V representing value addition, and eventually the R representing the risk. So, these 5 are regarded as the critical spokes in the wheel of corporate, and we have to keep this wheel into motion, and that too with the total management, with the management in a holistic manner, with regard to each of the aspect. So, if these 5 variables are in order, the wheel will move forward with ease. So, these 5 variables, they are always supposed to be in order if we really want the corporate wheel into the motion, and for that TRM is offering us the best of solution, that we can make good use of all the resources, we can go for total resources management. So, TRM helps in ensuring, the question comes, how does it help? It helps in ensuring that the spokes of the wheel are not broken. You should not be weak on any of the 5 parameters, and the corporate wheel moves forward to ensure optimum utilization of resources. We do not talk about the maximum utilization of resources in TRM, rather we talk about the optimal utilization of resources without causing any harm to any of the stakeholders. We are basically utilizing the resources. Required return on total investment, and to achieve the given goals and objectives which are articulated through the vision and mission of the organization, it is being done. Now, for this entire stakeholders model approach, I would like to acknowledge the contribution of the author, that is author of this entire idea of total resources management, which is published, which was titled Holistic Approach to Strategic Gearing by Subhash Sharma, and it was published in Sankalpa, which is the Journal of Management Development and Application, and it was published long back in the year 2000. So, this is to acknowledge the contribution of the author. Now, when we talk about the total resources management during our classroom discussion, a story comes in my mind whenever I discuss about this entire idea of totality, whether it is total quality management, or it is total resource management, or it is total risk management. So, there is a very old story of elephant and the blind man, the ancient Indian story of the elephant and the blind man, and you can find the reference of it in many of the books which are there for storytelling. So, it has become part of contemporary management thinking. So, that story of elephant and blind man, it has become the part of our contemporary management thinking. And there it was said that which is what is written there, it is written, and I quote, the blind men think that they are looking at the total or totality, while in reality each blind man is merely describing the totality of the part and not the totality of the whole. So, suppose if we look at one aspect of it, it is not for the people who are basically under the Divyang category, or who are under the PWD category, but it is for us also. Suppose if I am looking at one aspect of it, suppose if I am looking it from the one dimension, then of course I am considering it to be a total one, which is not true. Unless I look at totality, unless I have an aerial view of any area, I cannot do justice to the discussion. So, we have to understand that I am talking about the totality of a part, not the totality of the whole. So, total quality management looks at, if I take total quality management with the help of that story of elephant and the blind man, total quality management, by simply ensuring quality management in a holistic manner, we feel that our job is done. But here we are committing a mistake. We are looking at the totality of quality management only. We are looking at the totality of part only, not the totality of the total, or the totality of the whole. If I talk about the total cost management, I am looking at the totality of cost management, but not at the totality of the whole. So, cost is one of the component, quality management is one of the component, but what about the holistic approach, that is totality of the whole, and for that this TRM is the remedy. If I talk about total knowledge management, I am basically concerned about the totality of knowledge management only. I am not looking at the totality of the whole. The same is the case of risk management, and so on. So, whatever the broad area, whatever the segmented area you are taking care of in terms of totality, be it total quality management, be it total knowledge management, be it total risk management, or total human resources management, there we are basically looking at the totality of that particular aspect. We are not looking at the totality of the whole, we are looking at the totality of the part. and this is why the total resource management comes into the picture. This is why the total resources management becomes more relevant for us when we talk about ensuring a business enterprise which is ensuring the optimal utilization of resources. So, for that we have a TRM Yantra which is being reflected by the 9T framework. There is a 9T framework, and it gives us an idea that how to come out of the myopic syndrome if you are having into your business, which at times we are having in a business enterprise. So, the TRM Yantra could provide us an integral view wherein all the elements in Yantra they get integrated. So, if I take it as a system, TRM system, it can provide us an integral view wherein all elements in this 9T framework can be integrated. As I told you at the very outset that we have identified the 9 T's of total approaches, like 9 segments of the totality. So, if I talk about the whole, it can be classified into 9 different parts of totality, and it can be called as the part of the total, part of the whole. So it is basically the total, and when we aggregate all these totals it becomes a grand total, and grand total is called as total resources management. So total of totals. So this approach to management rooted in 9 dimensional analysis of critical factors in management, and those 9 elements need to be understood here, why they are so important. Although the metaphor of myopic and that these are disjointed ideas and efforts, and the metaphor of Yantra indicates that these can be integrated together to create harmony in approaches and synergy into our efforts. So, what is there into this 9T framework that are being listed here? It starts from total risk management, then cost management, total human resources management, quality management, knowledge management, intangibles management, productivity management, value chain management, and time management. So, this is called 9T framework, comprising of different segments of the total management, that is management in totality, management in a holistic manner, and all these 9 components or components of this TRM Yantra need to be integrated together to find the best of results. So, this TRM Yantra, there is a focus on 9 critical areas of management, and these 9 critical areas of management are risk, cost, human resource, quality, knowledge, intangibles, productivity, value chain, and of course the time management. So, these 9 critical areas, they require the immediate and urgent attention of the management if they really wish to ensure the management of resources in a holistic manner. Now, these 9 components, they are being grouped in different groupings, and we call it grouping of critical areas. So, 9 critical areas, they can be classified into 3 groupings, having a group of 3 only, like group 1 can be risk, cost, and human resource, group 2 can be quality, knowledge, and intangibles, and group 3 can be productivity, value chain, and time management. So, these critical areas of the 9T Yantra, they can be grouped into 3 different groups. Now, the question comes, what is the use of making this kind of grouping? When these 9 critical areas are given due attention, the effectiveness of the organization improves. You would find the reflection of the same, the implementation of the same in the performance of business enterprise, because your effectiveness is going to improve and the resources are channelized in proper direction. All the resources, they are being used in a proper manner. As I told you during my discussion that the source of source is important, but what about the application? Because very often when we look at the total resources management, we try to look at the resources, we try to look at the sources of resources, but what about the utilization of resources? And here comes the role of classifying those activities, products, and strategic business units which we discussed in the previous lecture of mine, where we talked about what if my resource is creating the loss, is being used into a loss making unit. What if my resources which are being put into the business process, they are basically creating non-performing assets? So we have to be very mindful about the application of those resources. So source of source is important, but application of source is equally important. So when we are managing total resource management, the source and application both need to be taken care of, and both are supposed to be managed in a proper manner. So the resources are channelized in the proper direction with the help of this kind of grouping. So we can say that TRM Yantra, it provides us an integrative view of 9 critical areas of managing, and it also points to their interlinkages. So you can make a grouping of these 9 components, and after that you can channelize the resources, you can ensure the optimal utilization of these resources. So this Yantra actually includes 5 variables model of the corporate momentum. When we look at this entire Yantra of 9T framework, it also includes 5 variable models of corporate momentum. And when we talk about the managerial Yantra discussed here is a generic Yantra, and any organization or any company can craft or draft its own Yantra of 9 critical areas which influence their functioning. So my dear learners, at times there is a question in your mind that for what type of organization, for what type of corporate entities this concept of TRM is relevant. Some people think that I am into a marketing unit, so this TRM is not relevant for me, because I am basically buying my products from the suppliers and I am simply marketing it, I am simply selling it out. So TRM should be used by those companies only which are into the manufacturing process. So we have to understand that the grouping can help you. There are 3 grouping of 9 critical areas. I can give you an example of it. Suppose you are a marketing unit and you feel that there is no cost involved into the manufacturing process. Of course you do not have manufacturing cost, but can you say that you do not have any cost? Of course you are incurring cost in terms of buying the product. There is a buying cost, there is a transportation cost involved into the purchase as well as supply of your product. Suppose if you say there is no risk into your company, can you say that there is no risk in my company because I am not into the manufacturing sector, I am into the marketing? Of course risk is there. The type of risk may be different. If you are a manufacturing unit and you are not marketing, then your risk may be of different type, but risk is supposed to be there because there is uncertainty. Human resource, there in a manufacturing unit you are using human resources for the production process. Here in marketing units you are using it for marketing of your products and services. So that the perspective of utilizing risk, cost and human resource may be different for manufacturing unit vis-a-vis the units which are into marketing. But these 3 components are bound to be there. So they are relevant for us. So total resource, if I have given you example of one group, I will be eventually giving you the example of remaining 2 groups also. That we have made a grouping of these critical areas which is known as key performance areas, and you can reduce your risk, you can reduce your cost, you can manage your human resources in a proper manner. Whether you are into manufacturing sector or you are into the marketing sector, or regardless of your business formats or whatever sector you are dealing with, the total resources management is relevant for us. Moving on to group 2, if you talk about quality and you say I'm into the manufacturing, I'm into the marketing unit and I'm not the manufacturer, so how can I ensure the quality? You can ensure the quality sourcing, because you should first identify which are the companies offering the quality products. So quality sourcing is important for you. Here for you the sourcing quality sourcing becomes the parameter here. So perspective differs. If you are into manufacturing unit, you would ensure that best of raw material should come into the business, into your production process, and then you are trying to offer the best of quality by doing the benchmarking in the production process. The same benchmarking can be done in marketing units also, in companies which are into marketing of products and services. Knowledge, of course, it is needed everywhere, whether it is manufacturing or it is marketing. Intangibles, of course, you are going to develop your reputation accordingly, so it is relevant for you. Moving on to group 3, where we talk about productivity, value chain and time management. If you are into marketing unit, then too time management is equally important for you. You have to deliver on time, you have to offer your services and products on time. Delivery on time is one of the important expectation by the shareholders. Value chain is also an important expectation from the side of customers. And productivity is not only being appreciated by the manufacturing concerns, but also the marketing units. So grouping of critical areas, it basically makes a segmentation of these 9 critical areas or key performance areas, where you can decide that the way I have to strengthen this entire process of total resources management. So TRM Yantra is basically giving you a 9T framework, and it expects from us to focus on risk, cost, human resources, quality, knowledge, intangibles, productivity, value chain and time management. So all 9 are equally important, and grouping is being done to basically make a segmentation, so that we can target and position ourselves in a requisite manner. So wherever and in whatever manner it is required, we can make an effort to ensure the best of performance. So the very objective of total resources management is, or behind offering this kind of framework, is to ensure that there is an optimum utilization of resources. So regardless of your business format, regardless of the sector in which you are performing, regardless of the nature of work in which you are into, total resources management emerges as one of the most relevant technique of managing the resources. As I told you previously, that the source of source is important, but the application of source is equally important. You cannot discount the role of the application of sources, application of this source which you are going to manage. So this yantra, which is called as the 9T framework, I would call it 9T framework. It includes 5 variables model of corporate momentum, which we have discussed before, that how to make this corporate wheel moving. So we should focus on quality, we should focus on cost, we should focus on productivity, we should focus on time management, we should focus on risk management. So here is a generic framework in the name of total resources management. A company can craft according to its own requirement. For me, it can be a 9 critical areas. For you, it can be 12. For any other company, it can be 7, or for other companies, it can be 5 only. So we can identify the critical areas. Managers can focus their attention on achieving the effective coordination between the critical areas, and they can also use this framework of 9-dimensional analysis for analyzing and doing the assessment of the performance of key result areas and key performance areas. So you can identify your own KRA, that is key result area. You can identify your own key performance area and make a difference, that see, I was good into total quality management, I was good into total risk management, but what about the time management? My company ensures best of quality, my company is having best of its strategy for risk management, but the time management is very poor. So in a holistic manner, you will not be regarded as a company which is maintaining its resources in a holistic manner. So when you start making total of the totals, then you realize the relevance and importance of this total resources management. So this entire concept of managing through TRM is giving us a wonderful perspective, is giving us a very new perspective of looking at making the total of totals. So you are maintaining to quality, you are ensuring total quality management, you are ensuring total risk management, but you are not able to ensure total time management. You are not able to ensure the other 2-3 aspects of totality out of those 9 critical areas which we had discussed. Like suppose if you are ensuring quality but not knowledge, you are ensuring intangibles but not productivity, you are ensuring value chain but not time management. So all these 9 T's, they need to be taken care of, they need to be given due importance and significance in this entire journey of total resources management. So with this, my dear learners, I tried to give you a brief idea of what exactly this total resources management is, its relevance. There are different models, and now the increasingly the researchers are giving attention towards this total resources management as an emerging area of ensuring the holistic management in a business enterprise. So, by grouping of critical areas, you can find your own KRAs, you can find your own KPAs, key performance areas, and manage the resources in a holistic manner. So, this was all about the total resources management, and this very concept, and as I told you that this is being contributed by an author called Dr. Subhash Sharma. It was published in the Sankalpa, the Journal of for Management Development and Application, published by Utkal University, Bhubaneswar, and this TRM is basically giving us a holistic approach, and that is why I thought it very pertinent to discuss when we talk about Indian ethos in management, because it is the Indian ethos only which talks about the Sarvangeen Vikas, which talks about the Sarvonmukh Vikas or the holistic development, because development can only be sustainable when it is holistic. You cannot ensure a holistic organization without ensuring the holistic the concern of all the stakeholders in a holistic manner. You cannot have a sustainable organization with employees who are not happy, who are not adequately remunerated. You cannot have holistic you cannot have a sustainable organization with your suppliers not being paid on time, your customers not getting the supplies on time. So, your government not being paid tax on time, your society which is witnessing, which is bearing the burden of your entity in terms of causing harm to the environment, you are which you are causing in due course of your production process. So, my dear learners, this total resources, the topic of total resource management, it basically offers a holistic approach towards the strategic gearing of resources, that you can basically mobilize all the resources of your business enterprise in such a manner that you are ensuring the development which is sustainable. You are ensuring a production process which is more and more sustainable, wherein all stakeholders feel adequately honored, and they would only feel adequately honored once you are giving them due recognition, once their concerns are being met. And for that, as we discussed in this very segment of our lecture on total resources management, you can develop a total stakeholders index. Toshi, I mentioned about total stakeholders happiness index, to what extent they are happy. So, Toshi is giving us an idea that whether they are satisfied with the treatment of the corporate enterprise or not. They are taking care of customers but not suppliers. They are taking care of shareholders but not the government. So, all stakeholders, they are supposed to be adequately honored when we talk about the total resources management. So, this is the very soul of this entire idea of total resources management, which is a holistic approach towards strategic gearing and strategic management. So, my dear learners, with this we are coming to the end of this topic of total resources management under the Indian ethos in management. I hope you must have enjoyed today's lecture of mine. Thank you so much.